Like Linda, posted on this is the last Sabbath of 2025 for on Yah's calendar, which of course we believe to be the true calendar. And Gamul, priest number 22, came in for service this week. And this is a very important week, right? Because we know tomorrow is the null day. And then we have the first day of the new year, right? Which is 1/1. That's this week, and it occurs on the Gregorian Saturday. And then, and then the new year starts. But what we kind of wanted to discuss, and we're going to discuss this at our regular Sabbath fellowship as well, is the question, we do believe it's a day of remembrance according to um, Jubilees, and according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's a no work day. Because if it was a regular work day, then you would break Yah's scripture as far as 6 days of work and then the Sabbath, because the next Sabbath is 7 days away, 7 work days away. So it was pretty clear in Jubilees and the Dead Sea Scrolls that the priests, the Zadok priests, kept New Year's as a no work day. However, and it is supposed to be observed and acknowledged with a trumpet blast because this is New Year's, of course, but yet it is not a holy day, right? Like a Sabbath or like a high holy day, and it is not listed in Leviticus 23. So I think it's important that as a fellowship, we understand what times we can flee and what times we can't. Because in Matthew 24:20, Yah makes it clear that you need to be praying your flight is not on the winter or a Sabbath, right? So we discussed it, and we do believe that you can flee on New Year's Day because it is not high holy time. So we just wanted to open it up for discussion just to see if you guys agree or if there's any other ways you guys look at that. We can talk about it, but that's kind of where we fell down on the understanding that yes, it's a day off of work, but it is not holy time as defined by Leviticus 23. Does that make sense?
Yes. My understanding though is that when they left Egypt, when they came out of Egypt, um, it was on the 15th, and it was the day after the 14th, after the Passover, and the death angel passed over. And I believe that they went out during the day time of the 15th. And so uh, at that time, that was a annual holy day, and they was traveling, but
Well, hang on. We did discuss that before, Ray, and actually scripture says they left by night. They actually left at sundown.
On the 15th, though. So it is
Yes,
still the 15th. Yes.
yes. They did leave on the date, calendar date of the 15th, but they waited until sundown. Um, does anybody have those scriptures handy? I wasn't prepared, but I think I can find them
Yeah,
real.
me too. Let's go. We'll come up with it quick. So it's in
Because I hear
Exodus.
what you're saying, Ray. I used to think that they left during the day as
It's
well, but
Numbers 33:3, I think.
It's also in Exodus chapter 12.
Hold on, wait, yeah. Yeah. Uh, yes, for sure. And maybe I'm getting the
Yeah, I've got Numbers 33:3 here. It is a night watches unto Yahuwah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This is that night of watches unto Yahuwah for all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And
And
I
it's
have Exodus
also
12:42.
What did you say, Christina?
12:42,
In which book?
Exodus,
Oh, Exodus 12:42.
Numbers 33:3.
yeah, the night of solemn observance, for bringing them out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
Here it is.
And it says right here, it says here, so they departed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow of the Pesach, the children of Israel went out with boldness before the eyes of the Mitzrites.
And
It's
also, go ahead, Nancy.
Go ahead.
I was just
I,
going to say in exit. So Christina or someone just read, I think Christina just read 42. 41 says, and it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self same day. So it's the same day it came to pass all the hosts of Yahuwah went out from the land of Egypt. So at the time of Genesis 8:18, going back to, is that right? Let me go back there.
and Genesis 15:9, where Yahushua walked through the parts as the sun was going down.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting too is that we see in 16 verse 1, keep the first month of Abib, right? Guard the first month of Abib and perform the Pesach.
And then
So
it keep reading, it says, when Yah your Elohim brought you out of Egypt by night.
Right.
It says that.
yes,
And then if you jump down to Deuteronomy 16, verse 6, it says,
Uh,
uh,
uh, you get
but
over
at
here
the
and say something.
place where the eternal your Elohim chooses to make his name abide, there you will sacrifice the Passover at twilight, at the going down of the sun, at the time you came out of Egypt. Now, it's not saying they came out at Passover, it's saying that they came out of Egypt at the going down of the sun at twilight, is what it's saying. The next evening at twilight is when they walked out. So putting all those scriptures together,
All right, and so
it's
we're gonna repeat them right now. It's Exodus 12, 41 and 42, Numbers
That
33:3, Deuteronomy.
Betsy,
wait a
I,
minute, she's talking.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. What do you need?
I just wanted to tell you that they were told to stay in that night, as we know, that they were to stay in all night because the death angel was going over.
and that
And
was Passover, yeah.
yes, and but that whole night they were to stay in until the morning of the 15th. And that's when they left. That you're using, that's a hypo verb stem. It means that the bringing refers to the cause that enabled the exodus to become possible and not the physical exiting of Israel. That hypo verb, it's just saying something happened that gave them the authority to go out the next morning. And that was when the death angel went over. That's what happened. And so that allowed them to go out the next morning. They did not go out at night.
but
Right. We completely agree with you. The death of the firstborn was the last straw that allowed them to leave. But the next day, the next morning, was the high holy day of unleavened bread. And it is clear that all that day they did get their provisions together, their families together, their animals together. The Egyptians brought them clothing, gold, silver. That's when they plundered the Egyptians, but they did not flee or walk out until sundown
And that's
after the high holy day.
right. And
And
that's what
that's
it
what
says
these
in
scriptures
16:1.
prove.
Right. 16:1 says it. Your Elohim brought you out of Mitzrayim by night.
So you're absolutely right. It was impossible that they fled on the Passover evening because they were told by Moses and they did it. They were to stay in their homes from sundown until morning, and they did. They
Yeah, so
did.
stay in their homes so they can come out because we know that they collected the gold and everything from they what's it called when you they took the jewelry.
Plundering.
They plundered the Egyptians during the day and so they were
Yeah.
out allowed to come out of their homes during the day, but they didn't leave until night. And so I'm just going to repeat if anybody wants to write these scriptures down and if anybody has any to add to it. Exodus 12:41 and 42, Numbers 33, verse 3, Deuteronomy 16, verse 1 and 6. Any others?
Yep. And I can't remember. Do you guys remember? We went into this with detail. It's been a while back.
What's
Um,
the verse that says that they cannot leave their homes until morning? Does anybody know?
While we look for
Uh,
that, I have a question. Okay, so I don't disagree with the whole they didn't leave till sundown on Unleavened bread, but I do wonder if anybody has the answer to why are we told then to like wear our shoes and have our walking stick and be girded up? Like, what is the reasoning behind that? I'm just curious. And like I said, I don't disagree because I've looked into that before, but that part just doesn't make sense to me. Like whenever we eat Passover meal, it says to be girded up and have your walking stick and,
Well, I
your
think
shoes.
for the Egyptian, yeah, that's a good question. I think just be ready to flee when he tells us to go. That's kind of how I interpret it. But it is interesting. Why would they be girded up 24 hours before they're supposed to go? Well, I guess
We,
that's
well,
well, that's it's unholy. They had to prepare. I'm sure they were gathering their stuff together that night too,
right,
right?
right, right.
So remember, Passover is not holy time. In other words, you can trample on it, meaning do your preparations. So they were told they were going to be leaving. So if I were them, don't come out of your house, but be getting your stuff together that you're going to take. In other words, be preparing to be on your journey. So
well,
all they, yeah, so all they did during the holy time is the Egyptians came and brought them all this stuff because they wanted them to leave. They were saying, here, take this booty, just go. And then they wouldn't leave. They wouldn't leave because it was holy time and they knew they couldn't leave. And so the Egyptians kept upping the ante. Well, maybe if we give them this silver, this jewelry, then they'll go. Well, they still sat there. So the Egyptians went back, got more gold. They just threw everything at them but the kitchen sink, trying to bribe them to leave. Please, people, take everything, just please leave, right? And so they
uh,
finally, when the sun goes down, they had already got their stuff in the house ready to roll during the night. And then they rested during the day. The Egyptians kept bringing them stuff. So then all they did was gather up their animals and head out after sundown. That's
uh,
why I read that they were girded and ready to roll.
well, now at that time, they didn't even know when the Sabbath was yet because they
True,
Yahweh.
true, but they knew the first day of unleavened bread was high holy time. Moses had taught them that.
Okay, Christina, how about chapter 12, verse 17 of Exodus? And he said, and you shall observe the unleavened bread, for on this very day I brought your armies from the land of Egypt, and you shall observe this day for your generations, a statute forever. It says that on this very day, which was the 15th, first day of unleavened bread, I brought out your armies from the land of Egypt.
Yeah, we kind of self same day is SM. It's the SM date is how we look at that. So it's the
Yeah, it was the
15th.
15th.
It is still the
They,
15th at night.
yes,
Right.
they left at the 15th at sundown.
And that is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And it's
Yes.
during the day.
It's
Yeah.
just not the holy part. It's not the holy time, but it's the date of unleavened bread.
Strong's H3117. Yom.
Verse 22 is where you guys asked, and none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning.
Thank you. That was Exodus. What is that, Trace?
Chapter 12, verse 22.
22. Thank you so much.
Just put together the scriptures that we gave that we believe absolutely prove that they did not walk out until sundown, twilight.
Deuteronomy 6.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, Mitzi.
Yeah,
no problem. Go
yeah.
ahead, Christina.
I was just going to say that Deuteronomy 6:1 or
16:1.
16:1, yes, plainly says they didn't leave until night.
But yes, Joyce, it was still the 15th day, the 15th of the first month, the date. The date.
The word is yom. I agree with you, but it is the self same, so it's connected to that day, which would make the night connected to it the 15th. Yeah.
And it's kind of like once unleavened bread starts, you can't go and eat leavening at night, right? So it's part of the time.
Right. It's all of the time between the 15th and the 21st.
Yes, 7 days and 7 nights you must eat unleavened bread. And it actually starts in the evening with Passover. So it's linked. I hope that makes sense, but just, hey, go back, review those scriptures, and if it something still doesn't make sense, let us talk through it.
I'm gonna
Okay. All
post.
right. Thanks a lot.
I'm gonna
We'll look
post.
into it.
I'll post them all in the show notes for everybody to look up.
Okay. Thank you, Linda.
Yep, got it.
Because I will say, yeah, as far as, Matthew 24, verse 20, fleeing, we absolutely could not flee during the daylight portion of the 15th because that's high holy time. So that's why we can't flee during the daylight portion of the Sabbath because that's holy time. On high holy days during the daylight portion, that's high holy time. But once sundown arrives, yes, we can. So that's why I kind of wanted to discuss, what's coming up for New Year's, right? On 1/1 on y'all's calendar, that it's not holy time, so fleeing is possible during the daylight portion if it came up. So that's that's part of the understanding that we wanted to let you guys know. We don't want anybody panicking trying to figure out, well, can we or can't we? We do believe that you can, but if it came to it on the first day of unleavened bread during the daylight portion, you could not. You would have to sit and wait until sundown. And I think it is interesting that Yah shows us in his word during the first Exodus that they did actually wait till sundown on the 15th before they hauled out.
Also in Exodus, it says that on the 14th at evening through the 21st evening, you shall not eat any leavened bread.
What's the scripture?
And that is Exodus. Let me go back here. 12:15. Wait a minute, is that it? Yeah, 12:15 gives a specific time
Thank
from
you.
the 14th through the 21st.
Were they burning their lamb indoors?
I don't think so.
Because like you're not supposed to go out at night, but yet you need to burn all your lamb. I'm just
Well, I think once they put the blood on the doorpost, I
They
don't think
couldn't
they
go
were
out. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it says here
Yeah.
on this is in the Temple Scroll on page 597 of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It says, on the first day of the first month falls the beginning of months. For you, it is the beginning of the months of the year. You are to do no work. You shall offer a he-goat for a sin offering, which must be offered separately from the other sacrifices to atone for you. In addition, you are to sacrifice one young bull. Obviously, these are things we can't do right now. And that's what it says. It's just telling you what to bring before Yahuwah. And then Jubilee 623, if somebody has that right away. I do have a scripture for that.
623 is on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance. And the days of the seasons in the four divisions of the year, these are written and ordained as a testimony forever. And then it goes on, because I always was like, are these Sabbaths or not? It says Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generation forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. So just like Passover is described is a memorial, but it is not a Sabbath.
Sorry to go backwards here, but I wanted to add Exodus 12, verse 18. This is telling and helps people realize the evening and the morning and all this stuff because it says, and again, this is Exodus 12, verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, that's Passover, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. So you start at evening and then you end at evening. And if you add up all the more days and nights, it's 7 days and 7 nights.
Yes.
So that also shows you that the last day of unleavened bread on the 21st, which is another holy convocation, ends at evening.
But Christina, uh,
Yeah.
it does say that the days of unleavened bread is the 15th through the 21st. So I think that they ate unleavened bread on the night of the 14th. That was something separate from the days of unleavened bread, which started on the morning of the 15th and ended on the evening of the 21st. And if you count that up, that's 7 days too.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think
that's,
you're saying the same thing. Both of you are saying the same
Right.
thing.
Yes.
but I'm just saying that the eating of the unleavened bread on the 14th is not, it is not part of the days of unleavened bread. It's a
I
separate,
agree.
no, okay. That's all I wanted to say.
But you do eat unleavened bread at the Passover, which is the evening
Yes,
portion.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
part of the commandment, but then the next morning starts the days of unleavened bread, the
A
15th
hundred,
through the 20th.
100%.
Yeah.
Mhm. So,
Remember, you guys, that eat churches of God, they would say, yes, eat unleavened bread at Passover. And then because of all the confusion, you could go have a donut the next day because they reckon the days evening from evening
Oh,
to evening and do you guys remember that? And it always
Yeah,
confused everybody.
you could take the Passover, and then after Passover was over, you could go out to a restaurant and
And have a
eat a,
hamburger, and
you,
people did it.
yeah, uh-huh,
People, yeah. So
yeah.
my point is that proves that y'all's time is morning to evening, and the days and the calendar start at morning, not evening. And if
Yeah,
you can't follow his word and do it the way the churches of God did, it's just mass confusion.
yeah, I agree.
Unleavened bread only is allowed at Passover. No leavened bread. You don't want to be caught with leaven in your home during those 7 days.
The only bread at Passover is unleavened. And that's what it says in Exodus 12:18. Yeah. And
Yeah.
once sundown on the 14th starts, no more leavened bread to be found or eaten until the 21st day of the first month at evening. No. We need to get rid of grain and stuff.
Now, does it only refer to bread, unleavened bread, or how about if you got leavening in cookies or pies or anything
Nope.
like that? You can't
Nope.
eat that either, right? Well,
Nope.
how about beer? It's got leavening in it.
That's a different kind of leavening. That is different. It doesn't, and this is something that I had struggled with in the beginning because they were talking about leavening in wine. You can't have wine because they use leavening in the wine. That is different. And we are allowed to have
Beer.
wine on
You're
Pesach.
commanded to have wine on Passover.
so it's like anything baked with leavening is not allowed. You don't bake wine or beer or, it has to
And
be
it's
something.
not bread, it's
Right.
wine or
Right.
beer or
And
toothpaste
But I
or
think a cookie and cake and pies would be considered
out.
leavened.
Yeah.
bread.
Yes.
Do you guys get rid of your, like, I have yeast for when I make bread. Do you
I do
guys get rid
not.
of that?
I
You throw it
used
away?
to, but if it's not, it hasn't been leavened if it's in the form of yeast. So
That's dry.
it's
Yeah.
dry. So
Right.
I used to dump all that. I used to get rid of my baking soda, my baking powder. I don't do that anymore because it's not
Okay.
leavened yet.
Yep,
Okay.
same thing, same thing. I was taught that you couldn't have anything that had leavening in it. And it's like, well, it doesn't make sense because grapes, even when grapes come off the vine, it's got yeast. It doesn't matter if you pull it straight off the vine and eat the grape. It's already got yeast on it. It is the baked goods. And I used to throw everything away, give it all away. And then I realized, I'm doing much more than what Yah commanded. It's no leavening in your bread, no baking soda, no yeast. It needs to be a flat bread. That's it.
Don't add to or take away. Just do what he says. Yep.
Yes. And it made my life a lot easier once I realized that Yah was not talking about no yeast in your house. he's talking about leavened bread.
I agree. Any other questions or comments? All right.
Ray says unleavened donuts are okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's just sit on them, Ray. Just kidding, yo.